Hi, this is Maginoni, and welcome to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Disappointing. Very tough week this week. There was a lot of good. I thought I would give it to something a little bit different, and that is Magneto. This was one of those titles that just came out from nowhere, this issue, and when it ended, I was like, oh my god, that was freaking amazing. And keep in mind, there are other books this week that were good, but those books I expected to be good. This was the one that I was like, well, it's been good, been very well written so far, but this one hit it out of the park. First, this cover, I'm telling you, is fantastic. Next is you have Magneto going around, and he's going after the Marauders. But, see, what we learned here is this. The Marauders keep coming up because, they're clones. And when one dies, another one's just generated to go forth and kill mutants. Well, what Magneto is doing here is this. He is basically, in this case, he took away Scalp Hunter's arms and legs and leaves him basically quadriplegic. But he does that for a reason. And then he starts going after the other ones. And he actually has a fiendish plan. Now, this plan is so fiendish, I'm not even going to tell you. All I gotta say is, well played, Eric, well played. This was a fantastic issue. The art has been really good. The art style really fits the tone of this book. The story has just been fantastic. And this is one of those titles that, you really should be buying if you're not buying it. Because you're missing out. Alright, let's go with the bad. I don't think this is any disappointment. It's Future's End. This is probably one of the absolute worst main event books ever. Okay, here's the thing. The art is okay. There's nothing wrong with the art. But let's look at it this way. First, you have really crappy dialogue. Like, you have this conversation here between Deathstroke and Grifter and the girl, and they're like, if you stop getting her angry, you won't get dumped in the ocean. Keep getting dumped in the ocean, and then she's like, "Word." I'm like, really? Can you not come up with something better than that? Then you go over to this part here, where you learn that Cadmus has been captured all the Earth 2 superheroes. What person in their right mind leaves them in costume? You take off the costume, you give them prison uniforms. Who knows what is in their costumes? Who knows what? Weaponry, some locks, communication devices. Like, really? Now, something that is telling is this. Superman's not here. And by Superman, I mean the two Supermen. There's other people that aren't here either. Like, for an example, I don't see, the Flash and the Green Lantern. But I'm making a point to that because that gets to who is the mystery man, Superman, which is in this storyline here. Which kind of leads me to believe that leaning towards this could be one of the Supermen from Earth 2. Now, we don't get the Firestorm story, but we get, the space storyline with Frankenstein, and we learn that Hawkman's not dead, and he's wondering where his arm is. And, once he's told, well, we thought you were dead, and he's pretty cool with the fact that he doesn't have his arm any longer. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is the sad thing is, this storyline only has this many pages to really advance, so you can't really go into things in more detail. You just kind of have to end it with, like, panels missing. And I think what's really happening here is you're really missing story and plot. Now, on a side note, I saw this wonderful preview of the Suicide Squad #1, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Why are you forcing the Joker's daughter? You got Harley Quinn and the Joker's daughter on the same team. It's like, why do you need two of these people? They're the same character for the most part. The only difference is you have a superior character in Harley Quinn, and you have an inferior character as the Joker's daughter, who DC is continually pushing on us and is pretty much useless. Second thing is there's this thing right here that says, you think you know Nightwing, you don't know Dick. Well, you know what? Dick don't know how to shoot a gun because you don't hold guns like that and shoot it. What type of spy school is he going to? Freaking useless book. I mean, it's like this. I understand it's a big story, and I understand that what you're really looking at here is it's the marathon. You're not looking for the sprint. And because of that, I think it's really important that you engage your readers and you get them involved, get them hooked into your story early. Because if you don't, your sales are going to drop. And eventually your sales are going to drop to a point where whatever you have planned at the end of this going into the next big event, it's not going to matter because people aren't reading this. And you're now going to have to waste extra time doing filler stuff. And then people are going to have to go, oh, I guess I'm going to have to buy trades. And they're going to have to buy 52 trades if it went a year. I mean, sorry, not 52 trades, but enough trades to cover 52 issues. And it's no longer an investment that people are going to want to invest in just to get the next big story, especially with the way DC publishes their trades. It takes forever for that next trade to come out. And I'm telling you, I can't keep it up. And I looked at the sales charts for May. Future's End starts off not even strong. I mean, it's respectable. And then it's just like down, 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 and a little bit of down. And you can't have that, because there's nothing in this to make a reader, think of it this way, there's nothing in this that makes a brand new reader want to pick this up off the shelf. And when you get that problem, it's just canceled book is what's going to happen. This is a horrible freaking book, too. This is basically the fake 100th anniversary of the Fantastic Four. And I don't know where to begin at how freaking horrible this thing is. Okay, basically what's going on is this. The time, shifting and, transportation, it's finally gotten the worst of everything. There's time cops. The Reed and company, Dr. Doom, are trying to do something to protect the time stream, but nobody wants to believe them. And they're outlaws, and they kill them. Well, immediately, 15 years later, we get a new superhero team of Fantastic Four. Now, let me just tell you how unbelievable this is, because, one, they don't die, and they don't wait 15 years later till they start a new story. I mean, new cast of characters. Okay, that being said, we learned, they're not dead after all. They just dimension hopped until they finally got to their next destination. And then the most shocking thing happened. Okay, more shocking than how bad the story is. Okay, this is Dr. Doom. Okay, I really like Dr. Doom's look on this. I mean, it's kind of like a cool, updated look. He's got the long hair. He's got a staff going, and he's kind of cool looking. He's also, I believe he has had some relationship with Val, because Val makes some comments about granddaughter. She says, like, your granddaughter. And I have a feeling those two went, at some point in time, got a little jiggy. Just saying. That's just saying. I hate these 100-year anniversary books or, looks into the future, because a lot of times companies like Marvel and DC are both guilty of it. They like to try to shock people and kill characters that they normally wouldn't do, and it makes the story really unbelievable. And in this case, this is just another case of, I'm just like, oh, and you guys see the last page, too. This is just like saying another case where I'm like, it's just not compelling. You know, there's nothing that really made me want to pick up the next issue. Because, see, it's being continued in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you get treated to this where you have Galactus looking at them in Sue Richards' voice bubble. And that's when I just said, I'm done. Look at that derp. He's going derp. And I can't. I just can't deal. I can't deal. Painful. This stuff is just painful. And then, of course, 100 years in the future means that, the 100th anniversary just means that all the stuff that's going on right now is null and void. Because everything goes back together again. They get back together again, and yet again, they go back to that story on their 100th anniversary. And, which, you understand what I'm saying. Recycled stories. And I'm like, done. Like, share. Crunchyroll Anime Reviews. Facebook. Tell me what you thought your good, your bad, and your disappointing is. I'm really curious to know what's on your guys' list this time, because like I said, there's some really good this time. And until next time.